Hi everyone, welcome to Ethernal Realms and welcome to your reading. We will see what your love life looks like in the coming year. We have pile 1 over here, pile 2, pile 3, and pile 4. Make sure to choose your reading with your intuition. If you're not sure how, you can visit the video in the ribbon above and it will walk you through it. And once you've made your choice, the reading will be in the timestamps in the description box in the comment below so that you can skip ahead and we can get started. So whenever you're ready, we will begin. Hi pile 1, welcome to your reading. You chose the amethyst, so let's get into it and see what is your love life looking like in this coming year. So your oracle card we have is the moment I realign with love, clear direction is presented to me. So the first thing I'm getting here is that you have a very clear idea of what and who you're looking for. What are the qualities that mean much deeper than, I suppose, the first few words that we get for our list? What is it that you can count on? And the two halves here and the unification in the center with the circle, this gives the vibe that you want to find someone who would actually balance you and who shows you the parts of you that are yet to be expressed, because that's where we can grow and come into wholeness. So you might be drawing in opposites, but ones who share certain, let's say, qualities or hobbies in common here. But either way, through all of your experiences, ultimately you're getting to a very, very clear point of what you want to be attracting, and you're very sure of that. That's what I'm feeling. You're not, wanting to compromise on that, because those are like the very, very basic and foundational, meaningful things for you that you're looking for in a partner and in a love experience. So let's get into the details now. Let's get some tarot, then I will continue with the oracles. Okay, so we're starting out really strong. We have the Tower, and once again I'm getting clearing the air. That's what I'm hearing, because that's what thunder does. It kind of freshens up the vibe. It also enriches the soil. It adds in more nitrogen so that, plants are healthier and so on. So while it is destructive or sudden and so on, it also enriches beyond comparison. And the source of nitrogen for the soil is only lightning. Or, artificially induced, of course, but if we only look at the natural part. So the Tower coming here is again like having a sudden realization, perhaps, or that clarity, the exact clarity that you have been looking for in order to be very convinced of your own choices, where it's kind of like when we are not very true to ourselves and we make certain choices with people to, let's say, trust, or how much to open up to them at a certain point in time and so on. In the back of our mind, there's always the thought of, is this too soon? Or is this even right? Should I be opening this part of myself to this person at this time, in this place, etc.? So there is that one spot of doubt once in a while, or many times even in some cases. But the Tower here is like, it's blinding clarity. There is no ifs and buts and other leeways and this and that. It's just so damn clear that there is no more space to lie, either to the self or others, or to even your higher self and what your soul is wanting to experience in terms of love and relationships. Then we have the Five of Cups. You could be... Okay, there are two things I'm getting here. One is that you might be fixating on the relationships that have not worked. And by doing so, you're discovering what you have not been looking at. Okay, you've been looking at what has not worked and what is kind of a don't do in relationships and so on, or what you should not be looking for, what the red flags are and things like that. But what I'm getting here is that there is a sudden shift in perspective, and you're like, okay, so I know enough about what I don't want. What about the things that I do want? What do I like? What do I need? And what do I wish this person to contribute in my life? Like, what is the purpose of having another person in your life? So there is kind of a drop of a realization, clarity, sincerity, and all of that, which just shifts your perspective and you start looking in a different direction. The Five of Cups is like not swimming in the same pool, or not being on this particular side of the river, but instead changing your perspective, perhaps changing the environment as well, such that you meet different types of people. Your level of interaction, or the type of interaction that you share with a romantic partner, is shifting. Okay, and this goes for even if you are already in a relationship. There could be a change in perspective here that can kind of clear the air. It can remove all misunderstandings, and you kind of come together here. The Five of Cups can, in that case, represent that you're not looking at past misunderstandings or difficulties you've been having, perhaps, or, if certain things have kind of stuck wrongly with you for some time, even if it was like from way before, you kind of let that to rest. You can communicate it with someone, but it can also be you having that clarity that kind of brings you into unification with yourself. The Five of Cups is really giving me strong vibes of uniting with your desires. Okay, then we have the Knight of Swords, and this one is very determined and very focused. Once it has clarity, it is not going to just sit around and wait for something else to happen. It immediately takes action, okay? And is not afraid of being bold, is not afraid of opening up, is not afraid of being communicative. At first, it is not very tactful, perhaps not to the outsider, but certain things just need to be said, even if it does not seem very pleasant at first sight. For some of you might be having a difficult conversation with someone that you're with, and you know that this is not the right person for you, and that you're looking for something entirely different. So you would have that conversation, even if it is quite unpleasant. Knight of Swords is also, again, I know what I'm looking for, so I'm just going to go for it and build a solid connection. I'm not going to keep looking for people where the structure is not stable enough and it just keeps falling and we keep running into the same pitfalls and things like that. For those in a relationship, the Knight of Swords can again be having a very clear conversation that clears out certain misunderstandings and kind of puts you on a stable foundation. Next, we have the Ten of Wands. Yeah, this is that unpleasant bit that I was talking about. You can be kind of evaluating any emotional or mental baggages you carry from previous relationships or previous circumstances that have not worked out. So love and relationships don't really have a very pure and clear mindset if we keep on carrying our old baggage. And I know that is easier said than done, but I see that in this year, you are kind of letting go of those. In some cases, a partner can help you work through that because they have gone through the same thing and they totally understand where you're coming from and why you feel a certain way. So talking about it and feeling understood can give you that sense of accompaniment, even if you're talking about difficult topics. And that feeling of kinship makes you braver and bolder in, dealing with any difficulties you are experiencing. And the same goes for the other way around. Ten of Wands, I'm also getting division of labor. So if you are together with someone, you can be kind of splitting the tasks in a different manner, like someone does some chore and perhaps is switching it around this time, who makes the meals, things like that. For those who are single and are looking for someone, the Ten of Wands can, like I said, the previous point, but also one of your priorities can be that I want to be with someone who can lend a hand, who can support me in my journey and kind of share their difficulties, my difficulties, and we work through them together. By sharing difficulties, it does not mean that both of you have the same problem at the moment and no one is kind of helping each other up. Both of you are kind of living in that ditch. Sure, there is kinship, but then there is no growth, and then that same problem persists. And if anything stays stagnant for a very long time, the Tower happens because it's time to shake it loose and it's time to, move on into something much better. Okay, so the Ten of Wands can talk about feeling that sense of responsibility or obligation to have an uncomfortable conversation as well. This applies if you're in an unhappy relationship or in an unhealthy relationship, stagnant in any sort of way. Okay, next we have the High Priestess. You're trusting your soul, you're trusting your higher self, and you have very strong intuition. Again, this clarity can be very internal for a lot of you. The moment I realign with love, clear direction is presented to me. That is coming out once more because you're aligning sort of with what you know and what you feel you deserve. It's like the wrong people, you don't need to be with them, right? You don't need to. And I suppose you're looking into why do you want to be with the wrong people, for example. That could be a question, or you get a clarity on why that is, and that sort of just, like I said, clears the air as in the mind, and you're like, okay, so I don't need to keep looking for this anymore. I have clarity about this situation, so I don't need to keep looking for an answer subconsciously or consciously in this direction. The High Priestess is like staying very true and loyal to your path. You're looking for is sort of a, I don't want to say soulmate because we don't have Two of Cups or the Lovers outright, but because we have the Two of Cups, it can be like a soulmate thing that you're looking for, but I'm not sure if you would choose that terminology. Anyway, regardless, you're looking for an equal partner who can lend a hand and support you along the journey of life, basically. So you're not looking for something temporary, and if you are attracting temporary people, or you're craving temporary people while also simultaneously wanting a more committed relationship, you're kind of uniting the division here such that both sides are, working together. What else am I getting? There's again that intuitive pull that perhaps a relationship has run its course, or that it is not meant for the long haul, or again, when you're meeting different people, just because it's on the other side of the river does not mean everyone is your soulmate, right? So you are interacting with different types of people, for sure, but you're also trusting your intuition very strongly when it comes to uniting with someone. You're being more discerning, and that's because you're very clear of what you're looking for. Oh wow, we have the King of Swords. So earlier I said with the Knight of Swords that he might not have so much tact, but the King of Swords definitely does. Okay, King of Swords is also very clear of what they want to be attracting, achieving, moving towards, and so on. They want to fly, they want to have clarity, they want to be truthful, being in an honest relationship, feeling honest, being able to open up and communicate freely. This could be another requirement as well, where there is an open and understanding communication, where there is empathy and support. These could be certain ideas you have, and how that support comes in, or what exactly equal relationship means to you, and so on. That's going to be different for each and every one, but that's what you're figuring out, that exactly what does that mean for you, and what exactly are you looking for, and so on. And you're kind of sticking true to that with the King of Swords as well. You are very clear about expressing that to another person, and if they are not ready for it, they can exit and you have no problem. Okay, so crystal clear. I suppose that's what this is. This way, surefire way of meeting the right people, right? Just be very, very clear and then stick to it. Once again, I know easier said than done, but still this year you're figuring it out. Okay, let's do your oracles. We have what does your soul say? I have set this in another pile or a zodiac reading. I don't remember, but this card does not come out often unless there is a very spiritual backdrop to this. Okay, so again, soulmate union, trusting your intuition, listening to that inner voice and sticking true to that, all of those things coming true. There is an introspective vibe here as well. Of course, with the High Priestess as well, you have to listen to that inner voice, and that's essentially what intuition is talking about. But that clarity is just blindingly clear and obvious as well. There can be a literal words that you hear with the Knight of Swords and the King of Swords. It could be someone else that is saying certain qualities and you're like, oh yeah, that like deeply resonates with me for some reason. Or it can be something you read and you're like, yeah, that's exactly what I'm looking for. So is that possible? It can be like a whole new insight basically. Okay, then we have sacred mirrors, which is that opposites attract, kind of seeing the other person as a reflection of your own. And that, again, does not mean that you're the same people, but you're kind of a mirroring image of one another. So you understand each other and you are definitely intrinsically linked, but you're not the same people. But by seeing each other as a mirror, you can understand a lot more about yourself. They can learn more about themselves and you can grow together. You bond very effectively. Card number 33, there is definite divine intervention here. If certain thing does not work out, it is for the best. Okay, and you will be happy because you kind of sense it. Okay, I feel like you're not, even if it's a sudden or a shocking event or a realization, I'm not feeling like you're completely taken off guard in any way. You are definitely in a powerful position here, even if certain things are not working out or you're reflecting on things that are not working out. But you have that clarity and you're like, yeah, it's fine. It was not meant to be and it was just not right. It's fine. Like, it's good for everyone involved here. So we can learn from that experience and move on. That's kind of the vibe. Yes. But the mirrors is basically two people and kind of seeing each other, and the Two of Cups. So on the other side of this perspective, as soon as you get this clarity, there is definitely a very, very strong chance that you're meeting someone who is going to be there for the long haul, helping you along the journey, supporting you and encouraging you as well towards your aspirations, helping you trust your intuition, or you intuitively feel like you can just open up and to this person. Okay, I'm also getting that being emotional with this person is not, how do I say this? You're not getting carried away by your emotions. You're feeling them and you are able to acknowledge them and you're able to communicate it, which is why you have a lot of clarity through this relationship. Meanwhile, in other relationships, it could have been that while you're talking about your emotions, you're really feeling it and you kind of go with the emotion instead of observing it as well. Okay, so there is a level of objectivity here that helps you understand how you think, how you feel, what is the trigger, what's the subconscious trigger, and how can we now work with all of that, because this much information is quite often enough to lead a very crystal clear life in whatever avenue we're talking about. So this person can be really helpful in that way, or you're reading something, learning something that helps you heal yourself in that manner. And we have cozy up with risk. So yeah, it can be a feeling of unfamiliarity. That's what I'm getting exactly. Unfamiliarity to explore this other avenue. It can be quite literal, like moving states, let's say, or moving countries, continents, whatever it is. You're going to another place, and that can feel a little bit scary and risky because you've not been there before. Because also it happens when you have a very strong intuition. It's not a very tangible thing. It's so intangible and ethereal. You can't really be sure, but at the same time you're sure as well, right? It's kind of that vibe where you know but you don't really know. So it can feel a little bit risky to trust the insights that you're getting and how effective that would be for your love life. But I see that you're embracing that. Cozy up with risk is like, you know what, I know the risk, let's just go with it, because I'm really going to trust my intuition and my gut at this point. We have wow. Oh my god. Okay, so we have unicorn. So use your intuition to make beneficial changes. Yes. Okay. Also, unicorn is like mythical, ethereal, kind of a manifestation come true, right? And then we have a table with hard work ahead. Yeah, having the tough conversation if you need to, or doing the hard work of understanding what stops you, or why you meet a certain pattern, and also the hard work to kind of change countries or states or whatever that is for you, right? There is some type of that. Also, I'm getting that you want someone who, like I said earlier, who is willing to support you through things. So lending a hand when during difficult times, during difficult conversations, and not running away or not being afraid or any of the other things that show avoidance or impulsivity, right? And tables are quite committed and stable as well. So you're looking for something like that. And even if it is hard work for you, for the partner, for the relationship, in finding someone, if you have not yet, you're ready to do all of that because it just feels right. Okay, then we have Eagle, which is triumph over troubles and obstacles, and this corresponds with the sword suit here. Heightened perception, a level of objectivity and clarity over what you want, and not being afraid to move towards that. And you're doing that very gracefully, I should add. Okay, you're doing that very gracefully. If you have to exit a situation, you're having a mature conversation, and even if it's a little bit scary, you're not afraid to do it because you know why you're doing something. Okay, cool. So let's get to your astro dice. So pile 1, amethyst. Oh, you chose the amethyst as well. That is a very spiritual sign. Crystal. It connects with the crown chakra and also the third eye. I have kept one around here. So that helps me with my intuition. I can show you right there. It helps me with my intuition right here. So, okay, very spiritual. So pile 1. Love life. The coming year. We have third house, Aquarius. Oh my goodness. Okay, Aquarius and Uranus. So both of these are kind of connected with the tower, the lightning, especially the thunder and the lightning. So this is that blinding clarity that is not deniable, the level of objectivity and the crystal clear thought pattern, knowing of your requirements and needs and desires and all of that alike is coming through, and you're able to communicate that very bravely, very clearly. It's so amazing because I can feel that you're very sure. You're very, very clear of what you want. Okay? And Aquarius is a fixed sign. So once it decides, it's like set on that. Okay, there's no like, okay, let's, try out something else. No, I know what I want. The tower came, and now I know what I want. So this is what I'm looking for. Are you ready for this? If not, well, maybe some other time. Maybe, right? So yeah, very clear about that, and making necessary changes as it is towards mindset, the way you speak, the way, the types of people you interact with in your everyday world. The community could be shifting here. Yes, objective thought pattern. So if there are, I gave you already the example, if you're too close to the situation, it can be hard to kind of see it very clearly, right? But I see that you're seeing things clearly here, even in that case. Okay, so that's what I have for you, pile 1. Thank you so much for being here. I really hope the reading resonated and that it helps you out. Let me know your thoughts, and if you want a personal reading, you can reach me via Etsy. The link is in the description box and the comment below. I will see you some other time. Until then, take care. Bye. Hi Pile 2, welcome to your reading. So let's see what your love life looks like in this coming year. The oracle card you have here is the universe has my back. So this is amazing because whatever it is that you have been wishing for your love life and your partnership is coming to fruition. This talks about a manifestation being granted, your wishes being completed, or finding very solid new direction if need be. That shows you that you're on the right track because you start meeting the right people. So let's see how the story develops through your tarot, and then we get into your oracle as well. So the first card we have is the Page of Wands, which is a very flirtatious and fun vibe. This could be dating, having fun, doing things that you have in common with another person and just having fun doing so. Okay, that's basically it. It has a very buoyant vibe, very playful. So yeah, it is kind of passionate and fiery. It is also very loving, tender, and sweet. So it's in general a very warm and generous vibe that I'm getting here, regardless of whether you're watching and you already are in a relationship, or this is someone that you are going to connect with in the coming year. It also can be you feeling very playful and flirty and just ready to kind of mingle. That's also possible. Okay, next we have the Seven of Cups, which talks about multiple possibilities. Okay, so it could be that you get some suitors here, and you can kind of have your pick, basically. You can decide who you want to be with and what type of relationship you are looking for at this time as well, because Seven of Cups basically is like anything is possible, and it is kind of your choice what you want to make possible at this point. Are you looking for a serious commitment? Are you just wanting to, date? And whatever it is, the dynamic is available to you, and you have multiple choices at hand for either of your decisions. Then we have the Seven of Wands. This is having a lot of self-respect. This is kind of putting yourself in a position where you're not taken advantage of in any way, and you're kind of... This also talks about having multiple options, but you're looking at it a little bit critically. Just because you're having fun does not mean that, you're allowing each and every person that comes along and that you get along with to be a part of your life. So Seven of Wands has that distinctive quality, having healthy boundaries and kind of being very particular about the type of person and relationship you're getting yourself into, based on whatever desires you really have. And again, that does not negate that you don't have choices, but you're just wanting a specific set of qualities, perhaps. Okay, next we have the Ace of Pentacles, which talks about a new beginning. It can be a foundation as well. If you are with someone, that this can talk, all of this so far can talk about a renewal, regeneration, and regrowth of the connection, where you're having more fun, going on more dates, and you're also kind of... The Seven of Cups talks about fantasies and imagination. So you could be fulfilling certain fantasies here. You could be going to places that you've wanted to go but haven't had the chance. And you're making that a priority. Seven of Wands is also prioritizing each other and the relationship over any other area of life that has kind of taken on more of a dominant role. So if this year has been kind of hectic in terms of life and family or whatever it is, then next year you're going to more put into focus your love life, something of that sort. For those who are looking for new love, Ace of Pentacles is of course a very nice thing because it has a grounded quality to it. It is a new beginning, so it is naturally full of hope and optimism, but the groundedness also gives it a very natural rhythm, a patient quality, and respect and security is inherent to the Ace of Pentacles. So with this person, you are not going to feel as if, maybe this is temporary, or maybe this is, not good for me at this moment, or so on and so. There's no, I'm not sensing too much of a self-doubt, because again, you're choosing very carefully. Seven of Cups also comes with that advice that it can all seem too good to be true, or it can be that there are many things that seem like the correct choice, but they might not be. And it can get confusing because there are multiple choices, but with the universe has my back, it's kind of up to you to pay attention to your gut and listen to what just feels right. It just fits and feels right. That's what I'm getting, because the Seven of Wands also wants you to listen to your gut instinct. Then we have the Nine of Cups, which can talk about a wish being fulfilled, wish being granted. So the first message that was coming through is kind of re-emphasized over here. The Seven of Cups and the Nine of Cups can talk about drinking and partying as well. So you can meet someone in such a social gathering. It does not have to be alcohol, by the way. It's just like having a very nice time with good people who are your well-wishers and something of that sort, where there are more people than your close-knit group. So it's a gathering of sorts, and you're just socializing and you're having fun. So in that process, you can meet someone and form a solid connection here, which you can follow through with. But it seems like you're in the beginning stages of this relationship, though. Ace of Pentacles and the Page are in the beginning stages. There is some healing that you have done this year, or will have already by the time that you meet this person or these options. 7 and 7 talks about a divine intervention and a kind of a necessary karmic cleansing so that there is ascension. So previous relationships that have not worked, or the ones that have left an imprint in your mind, those have been there for a reason, and the lessons that you've learned there is going to be very useful in the final choice making. So Sevens here is like the blessing is coming around here. Ace of Pentacles can also talk about a blessing coming forward, which is very tangible, very realistic in nature. Then, wow, okay, so we finished with the Lovers, which is excellent because it talks about the partnership. It's the soulmate card, and it's kind of collaborating with one another. So you gel with this person enough that there is mutual understanding, mutual respect, and it's sort of, with the Nine of Cups, I'm getting that you have been looking for this person and this person has been looking for you, and it was just a matter of timing. With the Lovers here, it's kind of hard to define a particular time, because it basically says it will happen when the time is right. And what that means is not May or June or any of those definite times that we have, but rather, when you are ready and this person is ready, and also the circumstances, everything kind of lines up, then it is the best chance you guys have for a sustainable and a long-lasting relationship. So this kind of seems like the right connection will come only when you're ready, and this person and the circumstances are ready. Because otherwise, is something that is amazing and beautiful can also falter and not work out, because one of the person or the life circumstance at the time of meeting was just not right. Okay, because the foundation really matters. And the Ace of Pentacles is kind of that seed being planted, which means that the foundation is ready, and now the surrounding circumstances are kind of shifting and working themselves out. That's what the sevens generally symbolize. The Lovers can also talk about making a major choice. So once again, it can be that I've done my healing and I don't go for people like that. I've learned my lesson, something like that could be the major choice you're making. Or it can be the previous example that I was giving, that you have multiple suitors and it is up to you to choose based on your gut instinct once more. Nine of Cups is like, what are you really, really looking for? What would make you feel safe, secure, comfortable with a person such that you can bond and open up, and you're still gelling. Okay, so there's really a very good scope with the Lovers there, and also Nine of Cups to meet the person, quote unquote, of your dreams. Okay, the Seven of Cups also talks about manifestation and dreaming as well, so very good chance that that can come about. Then we have Lead Your Metamorphosis, which talks about making transformations happen. So leading that change, not waiting for change to happen, because you want it done your way. You want to lead your life in a different manner, or attract different types of people, or gel with your current partner in a different manner, kind of renew your relationship. Then this is like, take charge and go do that. Okay, because when you take the first step, I feel like everything else kind of follows. Seven of Wands, I keep getting this, so I'm just going to have to say it. Seven of Wands can have a defensive vibe. So if that has been a detrimental effect, because one thing is healthy boundaries and the second is not healthy, right? So that can be too much or too little. When it is too much, then we get defensive and put walls up, and we kind of imagine certain conversations that did not happen subconsciously, because we're trying to prove a preconceived notion that we have about the person or the relationship or our lives or patterns and so on, right? That's when we have a really strong boundary up and we're rigid to anything that comes in. Meanwhile, when there is not too much, then we cannot defend ourselves against any predators, for example, right? Someone who does not have our best interests in them, and they're just approaching us for their own advantage, and then we kind of get on into this relationship, and we get ourselves hurt and so on. So there are two sides to this, but generally, I'm getting a healthy boundary here, but I feel like you're being guided through this process. There can be a feeling of faltering or confusion when you have these choices available to you, but you're going by the gut instinct anyway. So because there is a sense of illusion or faltering, the Lovers it can feel like a much bigger choice than it would be if you go with a very clear mind and heart. But I know that is easier said than done. It's more of a personal journey, so I'm not going to say easy or difficult. in a guaranteed manner, but it is something to keep in mind. Are you being defensive about something, or are you feeling, is this person inspiring your defensive nature, or is it something that comes from you? And same goes from the other person. Are they getting defensive when you ask a certain question? When you're being honest, are they being, are they not able to accept that? Things like that, because everyone deals with things in a different manner. But this quality of defensiveness can give you a very good idea of whether or not you want to be with this person or not. If you're at a similar vibe, then you can work together. But if you're completely opposite in that manner, then perhaps it doesn't go, because the way you communicate with each other and the way you have fun with each other is also going to be different, right? That was just a side pointer, take it or leave it, okay? Next, we have manifesting and doing. Okay, so this here is like making the necessary changes that need to happen. And also, of course, it looks like you're already manifesting, and if you are not, you might be thinking of manifesting. 7 of Cups can be that sort of confusion as well as to what exactly you're looking for, what words you should use to manifest someone, what the exact, let's say, list, even though that kind of makes it too crude, but let's say the list of qualities that you wish a partner to have. It's one thing to just wish, and the other to really commit to that and want it to happen. And that's what we need to very clearly state, right? When we're manifesting, what's your intention? What do you want to happen? And then what stands in your way at this time, if at all? And then taking the necessary steps to make that happen. So it looks like a very good blend of both things. Now, for those in a relationship, the lovers can talk about you partnering up very harmoniously. It's kind of a dream scenario of the relationship this year. And I feel you're coexisting so wonderfully. There is a balance and cooperation in the connection between you two, and also individually. The 7 of Wands is like individual power and empowerment, kind of feeling so in charge and in control of yourself and your reality that you are now free and you can have fun and talk to each other as you see fit, because you understand what works for your relationship and what does not. So the lovers is a mutual empowerment as well. Include that with the manifesting and doing. It's like a perfect blend of the divine masculine and divine feminine here that creates this long-term kind of bliss in general. Okay, wow. So next we have Carriage, which talks about a journey, either physical or mental. For most of you, I'm feeling a mental journey, but of course you can take some trips. You can, this get together could be at a faraway place, and you would have to kind of take a journey to get to the place, and that's where you could meet someone. You could even share a vehicle while going from one place to another. If you're already with this person, you could take some day trips, maybe to the beach or something, and you have a really wonderful time. So you could take short trips here as a form of your date. Next we have Desk. Pay attention to your work. Okay, well, kind of a mood killer here in combination with all of this. But basically what that's saying is love is kind of triumphing on your mind this year. Okay, you're prioritizing that over other areas of life, which I was feeling earlier as well. Yeah, so it is kind of saying, okay, but don't abandon work or don't abandon your other responsibilities, because of course love is a very, very important part of our lives. Connection is super, super important, and so on, but so are the other areas. So kind of pay attention to that as well, because there could be other things taking place in that area of life as well. For some of you, this choice can be about that too. Perhaps you've not dated for some time because you've had kind of your space and what you want to make for yourself happen, very independent lifestyle and so on. Nothing wrong with that, but I see that you're wanting a relationship or someone that you can share with or kind of collaborate with. That's sort of what I'm getting. You want to collaborate with someone and have a nice time doing so. So it can be that kind of pulled between, but I want to work, or like I have to focus on my business, or I want to get a promotion, etc., etc. But I really, really want to meet someone. I'm really feeling called to, connect with someone and build more fulfillment and so on. So it could be that choice-making process as well. But again, you're prioritizing your relationships in this year. And there's a very strong possibility of meeting someone new or planting new seeds. So there's a new chapter that is coming around in your relationships. Okay, so let's get you your Astro dice. Pile 2, please. We have Libra, which is, we have 7th house as well, and we have Mercury. So decision making in terms of partnerships and relationships. Let's zoom in here so you can see better. Okay, so Mercury is the planet of mind and communication, intellect, logic, and reasoning. So it can be that you want to find someone who has a similar way of seeing and perceiving the world or understanding. Also, you could be looking for someone who is comfortable with open and honest communication. It's not about manipulation or pulling tricks and none of that, because Mercury can also be the trickster. Libra and 7th house both correspond with relationships and partnerships based on equal footing, or working on your individual strengths, but working on them to kind of support and collaborate with each other. So that way you can learn from each other and each other's strengths, and that way you become more whole yourselves. And Libra is also kind of a mirroring house, like the 7th house is right opposite to the first, which belongs to you. So it can talk about seeing yourself in another person and developing more of an understanding and openness with yourself, and also in relationships as a whole. Yes, that is coming through. Fairness, equality, and justice. Yes, it can be that you are a very independent person and you have been focusing on other things, more specifically intellectual or business clientele oriented things, but now you're kind of shifting your focus to love and relationships. That would be resonant for some of you perhaps, so take it as it resonates. So yes, that's what I have for you, Pile 2. Thank you so much for being here. I really hope the reading resonates and also helps you out. Let me know your thoughts, and if you want a personal reading, you can reach me via Etsy. The link is in the description box in the comment below. I will see you some other time. Until then, take care. Bye. Hi Pile 3, welcome to your reading. So let's see what your love life looks like in this coming year. The oracle card you have here is, when I lean toward love, I am led. Okay, so there is a sense of direction. The triangles can talk about there being certain obstacles that redirect you towards the path that you're more meant for, more fulfilled by. It can kind of come in the form where we sabotage ourselves, or we limit our own thought about what we deserve, who we deserve, what type of partnership we should be in, and so on and so forth. It can also be a societal conditioning. It could be something that we have seen all around us while growing up, so we believe that only a certain type of relationship is possible for us, things of that sort. So these triangles are kind of speaking to me, but the moon then says that you have your intuition and a spiritual protection kind of guiding you, and yeah, like I said, protecting you, because the red also talks about protection there. Okay, but let's see your tarot before I get too much into details with just that one card. Okay, so we have the Two of Pentacles coming up first. This can talk about a busy time. It can be talking about reprioritizing or refocusing. But Two of Pentacles really talks about what you value in your life. So what are you willing to make time and space for? It could be that you're evaluating that for yourself, regardless of whether or not you are in a relationship right now. But there is a form of shifting things around that's taking place. For some time, there can be a feeling of transition, as though how can we say this? When I lean toward love, I'm led. It can talk about like physical movement as well. So if you're moving to someplace new, then that person that you are right now is not going to remain that same way in the new place. So it's like you yourself are transitioning, and there is a lot of things going on. So the question can come up that the existing relationship you're in, is that aligned with where you're headed next? Or it can also bring into question that who am I now and what type of connection am I looking for at this point? So Two of Pentacles, I'm getting a lot of questioning. Okay, then we have the Devil. This can talk about emotional attachments and patterns, toxic relationships as well. I'm not saying that that's what is coming through for you, but the Devil talks about, again, that self-sabotaging behavior, or it can be a tough relationship cycle that you might have been in the past, recent past, or the previous relationship as well, that kind of makes you either doubt yourself or the types of relationships that you can build. Something of that sort. The Devil also talks about certain constraints. So even if you want to connect with someone and the person is completely fine, the relationship is great, this can be that you have many other priorities that are restricting your movement toward a partnership or a relationship. But of course it is sort of an illusion when it comes to the Devil, because it's like the power is still with you, but the Devil says, no, you don't have the power. And we have the choice to not believe that, but somehow we always do, especially when the Devil says it, because he's making it very convincing. So let's say you're having quite a few busy days this year. It could be that, you're getting a new income source, you're multiplying your revenue, getting more people if you have a business, or, you're moving someplace and you're getting a raise because of that, and so on. So you can feel like, oh, well, I don't have a choice and I'm kind of tied up with this. There are many expectations, and there is this obstacle and that block. It's sort of making excuses so that things, I'm not saying you are doing that. It can also be a very genuine case that there are definitely a lot of things going on here, but it can also be other people making excuses. Meanwhile, you are managing many things by yourself. So in that process, you can think that, okay, so even if I'm more busy, I'm able to make time for this person. Meanwhile, this person does not make me a priority. So is this worth it? Because even I'm struggling here, okay? Like, I'm trying to make this work. I'm trying to compromise and prioritize and things like that. So take this as it resonates, okay? If you are in a relationship like that, this could be the time when you make a decision, or you're thinking of making other choices, other avenues where either the relationship shifts and expands, or you're not willing to prioritize this. For people who are looking for new connections, the Devil is negative self-talk or lowering your value that can come up, that you're working through. It can be doing the shadow work, identifying where you stopped yourself. It can be that you have a chance at something really great, but you feel like you're not very ready to move to something so committed. It can even be fears of commitment, because the Devil is not really tying anyone. This is like a wooded place, right? In this imagery here, it's a wooded place, and you can follow the light and you will be out of this forest. So it's not really the forest's fault for being the way it is, right? But it feels like a very chained event, or an external limitation, because we give it that power. We kind of are like, nah, I don't want to take responsibility, or no thank you, I don't want to deal with that, it seems like too much of hassle. Whenever we say that for anything, the Devil kind of gets the control, because power is not lost, energy is not lost, it's only transferred from one form to another, from one phase to another, and so on. So when we give up all of our power, so someone else has it, or something else has it, and we have the illusion that it's the external world that is always affecting us and kind of stopping us. So let's say you're choosing a job, and for that you might have to leave behind a partner because they are not coming along with you or are not willing to compromise. Then instead of feeling like, oh, why does this happen to me because of my job? Just because I want a job does not mean that, I should not have a healthy love life and this and that. Why does this happen to me? Why does this happen to me? That's kind of the vibe that the devil talks about. And Two of Pentacles is kind of shifting that around. And you're like, if you want this as a priority, make it a priority. Okay? I'm not saying this to you necessarily. It can also apply to the type of person that you're looking for in this coming year. Someone who is going to make you a priority and does not come up with many excuses or reasons to kind of delay or create obstacles within the connection and blame the outside environment. But of course, the devil can also talk about attracting toxic connections. But Two of Pentacles kind of is like, you're kind of ambivalent about that anyway. Okay, so you feel like, oh, this is not going to be good for me. You already have that feel. So I don't feel like you're getting trapped in this place at any point. Okay, then we have Ace of Wands, which talks about the new spark and passion. So this plus the devil can talk about lust. It can talk about a fire that burns very bright but very fast as well. It's kind of the fling vibe, okay? But if you're not looking for that, if that's not something you're prone to attracting either, then this can talk about there's a lot of passion here and you can feel restricted by everything else that is going on around you. So let's say the person in the relationship is very healthy, then the Two of Pentacles can be having a lot more jobs and, clients or, family obligations or bureaucratic stuff, administrative stuff, whatever, you have your things going on and you can feel like you like to be with this person so much that everything else is kind of an obstacle. So the devil kind of becomes obsessive in that way, and the obsession creates that illusion of entrapment. That's kind of the good version, of course, and it can be either way. It's going to be different for everyone. It's, of course, a general reading, but there is definitely high passions. That's for sure. Next, we have the Nine of Swords, which talks about fear and paranoia, feeling anxious, and this also talks about overthinking things and feeling self-doubt. So that fear of entrapment that could be coming around here with the Devil and Nine of Swords, it can also be that you're looking at how you cut yourself down, if that's something you're doing. It can also be that you're addressing the fears you have for taking a new leap of faith. For some of you, it can be that you've not dated in a while and now you want to go out and make a new connection here, and you could be working through some of the fears that you have regarding relationships, especially if you've had a difficult phase prior to this point. But the Two of Pentacles, I really love that because it's kind of that flexibility and versatility. You're shifting things around. Nothing is too permanent. The Devil by itself and the Nine of Swords, like if you just leave them alone, and it's very hard to break out of it because you're already in a fearful state, so it can be tough to see the light and all of that. But Ace of Wands is the light, and Two of Pentacles gives you a flexibility to look around and kind of grasp at the reality and the tangibility of a situation and so on. So it gives you a very good opportunity to find a different direction, to pivot and so on. Then we have Nine of Pentacles, which is a very happily single card. Again, if it can talk about you being single already for quite some time and you're getting back in the game, or it can be that you've had difficult relationships, so you don't want to spend a lot of time involved with other people and you want to take care of yourself and so on. Focusing on this and that. And I feel if you make a genuine connection, then you're open to it, but otherwise you don't want to go ahead and get yourself in any sort of questionable circumstance. Nine of Swords and the Devil are very particular about not attracting the wrong type of people, because it just builds more fear and anxiety. Yeah, so Ace of Wands can talk about finding that spark and inspiration in life. You're feeling very passionate yourself and you have no problem like flirting if that's something that you want, but I don't think you're committing to someone at this point, and you will commit only to people who are respecting you as you are, and respecting your space, privacy, esteem, and all of that, who know how to speak with you in a very clear but polite manner, who know how to present themselves, and so on. They should be able to value you because that's what you do for them as well. Nine of Pentacles is like, I know my worth. Okay, I know my worth, and I don't want to settle because I don't have to. Okay, so it's that vibe. And I like that we have 9 and 9, which signifies the end of a cycle. So it could be either if you were worried about something related with relationships and love or a specific partner here, 9 of Pentacles is not being afraid of that anymore, but feeling but very adequately, very sufficiently secure, feeling happy with where you are. You have your material resources set, your financial stability is perfect, you feel good about yourself, the diet you have, the routines you have, the lifestyle you're building for yourself is very beautiful and sensual, and it makes you feel romantic just as a mood. Okay, so that's where you become very magnetic. It can be that the devil, with some of you, it can be that someone else is obsessed with you and they're like, I'm not really a fan of you, so I'm gonna continue doing my thing. That's not really my business. If you want to get obsessed, but maybe don't be dangerous or something. So that can be for some, but it's more of a temporary situation there. Okay. Then we have the Knight of Pentacles, which is also a career, health, diet, lifestyle focused card. It talks about security and esteem as well. So the type of people that you are willing to attract and communicate and kind of gel with this year, this coming year, is someone who is focused, determined, reliable, and kind of driven towards an ambition or an aspiration. Not someone who promises many things but does not deliver. The devil can seem like that, Nine of Swords can seem like that, because that's why you have the paranoia and anxiety. Like, you say this, but then you do something else. So now I'm questioning things. Like, I don't know, like, are you going to be there for me or not, right? So the Knight of Pentacles is someone who proves that they will be there, because they are there every single day, okay? They will be focusing on things that are a priority to them, and they are not willing to compromise on the priorities. Instead, they take action towards them, okay? So being very sure of something, that's what you want, that's who you want. And it can also, it's basically symbolizing again that you're focused on yourself, your own growth, your worth, your career and finances, your flourishing and prosperity, okay? Meanwhile, you're like, my door is open. If you can match up, if you can come along with me, I am happy to have you here. But I'm not going to lower my standards so that you can feel better and I can feel worse. Okay, that's basically the kind of vibe I'm getting here. It's a very strong resolution, and you're not doing this from a place of sass or, being over smart or anything, because Pentacles talks about being very grounded, natural, and normal. It's like, it'll fit, if it's right, it will fit. So you're leaning towards that. You're leaning towards your own self-love, your own sense of worth, and you're also respecting and loving your surroundings, the work you do, the people you interact with, the ones who are near and dear to you. And you're kind of being led sort of in a different direction or towards making new choices. But even though it is saying I'm led, I'm feeling more of a magnetic vibe. Okay? More of a magnetic vibe when it comes to love. You are more proactive when it comes to career and finances, but you're more magnetic when it comes to love and relationships. Okay, and there can be some people who are admiring you, but I feel they're afraid to approach you. They can be intimidated, they can have some sense of, low self-worth. So, the description that I said, that can be applying to them. So they kind of hold themselves back and they don't want to approach you because it seems too out there. But I don't see you being bothered by any of that. You're just focusing on things. Also, the devil is really good for career and finances. There can be a strong focus in that direction for you because you want to, I feel, a sense of expansion, because the Nine of Pentacles wants to expand to the 10 and the Knight of Pentacles wants to expand to the King of Pentacles. Okay, a desire to succeed here. And for those of you already in a relationship, this can again talk about that commitment to your individual growth and journey, but also it can be about building a sustainable and a reliable future together. So there is more of a sense of solidity, commitment, and reliability with one another. And there can be some fears before you commit to that degree, but once you do, it kind of, goes along. Take it day by day. That's what I hear. Okay. Then we have the distraction of shiny things, which corresponds to the devil vibe once more. So that is being emphasized again. So I really don't think that you're going to fall for someone who's toxic for you. There can be temptations for sure. Okay, there can be, but I feel like you're coming back and you're prioritizing what you're really looking for. Yeah. Okay, then we have bravely market your magic. So this card comes up mainly for business readings that I've done, business, finances, and career. So it can be that you're talking about yourself, showcasing your work and things like that, that, you're more focused in that direction. Oh, you can meet someone through your work though. Then it kind of fits in very well. Yeah, this could be someone who does the marketing, is more adept with social media or something like that. And you kind of marketing yourself through them and you build a connection. And you might be kind of overthinking of whether this is something or is this something that the other person is also feeling. Is there something here? Ace of Wands talks about chemistry and passion as well. So, and that too relates with creativity. So if you are doing something creative, then this person can come in and help you or help showcase your work. And in that process, you kind of hit it off. Okay, so if you're meeting through work, it does not look bad at all either. Okay, so your tea leaf cards, we have teapot. Deep friendship with someone of the same sex. Okay, so if you are in a same-sex relationship or you're looking for that, then this can be a paranoia of kind of admitting that to people who are close to you or admitting it to yourself even. But okay, that's more specific, but also otherwise it can be that you're prioritizing your friends and again, people who are near and dear to you over any sort of relationship, basically. You're just more specific. Then we have angel, which is spiritual guidance and protection from harm. Okay, that's what I was getting with the moon card there. Then we have throne, position of authority. Oh, that's so good. Okay, 9 of Pentacles can be getting an increment or a promotion and you're feeling very set in your financial and your career life. Also the Knight of Pentacles, but it's also like taking the power back and you being in the position of authority. Like, I call the shots. I don't want this sort of connection, so I'm not going to invite this sort of connection. And this is your door. This is your gate. You decide who you're opening your heart, yourself to, right? So with the throne there, you're kind of in charge here. It is up to you, your choice, to see how this unfolds. And with the two of it, that's exactly what I was getting, right? That flexibility and the versatility. You can adapt, definitely. If you don't want to focus so much on your work, you totally can adapt. It's up to you what you make time for. Yeah. Okay, so pile 3 viewers, their love life in the coming year, please. 7th house, Pisces and Jupiter. There is expansion, there are choices, there is growth and commitment as well. It's more of a spiritual commitment, although Pisces does like isolation, kind of meditating and being with the self. So it can be that, you are prioritizing self-love as well, but that's not the point of that. Is not that you avoid all relationships. Just because you love yourself does not mean you can't love anyone else, right? You loving yourself is just protecting you inevitably from any negative influences here. Jupiter is a natural benefactor and a protector of the planets. So that in your 7th house is sort of that the planet itself is giving you good luck and protecting you from people who would not lead to your spiritual ascension or expansion. And because you are valuing yourself, your time and your resources, it looks like the universe kind of comes in and is like, okay, so let's kind of clear out the debris that is there in the partnership house so that this health that you're seeking and creating for yourself is also translating to your relationships as well. Okay, so you definitely can get choices, but it can also be a little bit unclear about, you like this person, but is that enough? Do you have enough time? You're being practical about this as well. Okay, but you definitely have some guidance here. Jupiter is the planet of wisdom and awareness, enlightenment, and self-knowledge as well. And that with the angel giving spiritual guidance here, you're definitely headed in the right track no matter what. Yes, you're definitely protected here though. Okay. So yes, that's what I have for you, pile 3. Thank you so much for being here. I really hope the reading resonated and that it helps you out. Let me know your thoughts, and if you want a personal reading, you can reach me via Etsy. The link is in the description box in the comment below. I will see you some other time. Until then, take care. Bye. Hi pile 4, welcome to your reading. Let's see what your love life looks like in this coming year. The Oracle card you have here, oh yeah, you got 2 of these. So let's see the first one. We have, when I lean on certainty and faith, I change my mind about the world I see. So there is a new perception, a new form of reality that you feel in terms of your relationships. Then we have hope is conduit. Hope is the conduit for miracles. So keeping faith and watching things kind of blossom. Throughout the year, there is a blossoming, growing, and fruitfulness with your relationships, whether you are already in one or you're looking for someone who would resonate with you. And also with this here, it kind of feels like you have a changed vision, whether it is again the same person that you're with at this moment or finding someone new. You're looking for a different set of qualities than you have before, and you're also very hopeful that what you're really looking for or who you're really looking for you can find in this year or make very considerable headway at least. So let's see your tarot card and see what we have. We have the Queen of Cups coming up first, which is a water sign. It can be Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. It could be you, and you are feeling more empowered, empathetic, more in your energy, or it could be talking about attracting a water sign. But water signs in general, they are very magnetic and attractive. They don't have to do too much, or they don't have to try very hard. They don't have to make the active effort, and things are still magnetized towards them because it is just their vibe that is so attractive. The Queen of Cups is also respecting your emotional space and being attuned to what you are feeling, what you're wanting to feel, the type of intimacy that you build with someone. There is a strong emotional and a spiritual bond that comes with this card. So that is coming up forefront for your relationship here, or your love life. Okay, then next we have the Five of Swords. This can talk about miscommunications or misunderstandings, some previous arguments that you might have had with someone, and that kind of being in your mind and you're kind of re-evaluating it, or you're thinking back and you're like, well, that was kind of, what was the point of that? Because in the end, everyone lost. When we fight and argue over like inconsequential things, kind of blowing it out of proportion, everything is kind of being lost in the process. But while in the fight or in the battle of wills, let's say, it doesn't seem like it. It seems like there would be a clear winner of sorts. But yeah, within relationships, that's not really the point, right? Okay, then we have the Queen of Wands, which is a fire sign. So fire and water signs coming through. This would be Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. You could be this, or you could be attracting someone like this. Now, the Queen of Wands is a mix of active and passive energy, because queens are corresponding with water signs. Meanwhile, Wands is a fire sign, which is masculine. So it's like you can magnetize, but you can also assert yourself. You can feel passionate and you're driven and you don't have problem making moves towards someone that you're attracted to, but at the same time, you're going to pull back and be like, well, I did my part. You're going to take an initiative, but you're not going to establish the entire relationship because you're going to wait for their feedback or their interest, something of that sort. But Queen of Wands is like talking about high passion and creativity. I'm also getting travel. You could be traveling somewhere near water, probably. with someone here. You could be going someplace like this, like a beach, for example, and you could meet someone there. What else am I getting? Queen of Wands is very empowered. 2 queens coming through here. Very strong, attractive vibe here. Then we have 6 of Cups. There could be a person that comes back from the past, but it's not necessarily that. Like if you're one of those people who like exes are exes, then that's not necessarily going to come up in the cards as the overview of the entire year. So in that scenario, 6 of Cups is about having fond memories, nostalgia, looking to the past, learning from the past, things like that. It's a timeline card, so it looks at the past, evaluates the present, and aspires for the future, sets goals for the future. And again, we have a beach imagery coming up here, so there could be someone that you're meeting, or you could be spending some time with your close friends over there, sharing a very happy time. There could be some memories associated with the beach, and that reminds you of a previous fight you might have had or an argument you might have had with someone, and you can see a growth. Okay, the queens here talk about maturation and growth as well. It's about emotional maturity more specifically, and how we translate that into our everyday world. Next, we have the King of Swords, which is an air sign, Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini. So this is about clear communication, power of thought and intellect, the ability to understand from experiences and gather awareness and expand beyond the limitations that surround us in our everyday life, let's say. But it also talks about your self-induced limitations of, again, what do you see when you think of relationships? What is the experience that you're envisioning is surrounding you? Things like that can come around here, where you really see the way that you speak or the way you communicate your thoughts, your intentions, and making sure that the feeling and the well-wishing is not getting lost in the process. Because the King of Swords can be very straightforward, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're with someone who does not get the straightforward way of speaking and would rather have a little bit more sugarcoating at least, then you might be like, whoa, that's not really my style, so I'm going to say what I feel like, and that could have hurt someone. But again, you're still being honest, you're still being direct, whatever that is for you. But over here, I see that you're becoming a lot more tactful than the past, and I see that you're seeing your own progress. Okay, 5 of Swords can kind of lash out and say whatever it wants. And by the way, this can be the other way around as well, that another person from your past was displaying such behaviors, and you're seeing that for you to be in a new relationship or want to attract someone, they need to have a better way of communicating with you. Okay, so it can go both ways. But what was I saying? Yes, you see a sort of progress here in the type of mentality, the type of mindsets that you attract around you. It can also be finding kinships and kindred spirits with the 6 of Cups, can be meeting up with old friends and connecting through them. The queens are all about networking as well. The King of Swords can represent that with Aquarius too. But perception, certainty, faith, all of this, seeing things very clearly with this card that we saw here is also showing up in the King of Swords. Wow, okay, then we have, oh, very nice, we have the 3 of Cups. Okay, so some of this is, again, maybe it is going to be specific, but okay, let's go with it. 3 of Cups can talk about being friends with someone from the past. There could have been a misunderstanding that you're clearing up and you're becoming friends again. Okay, that could go for some of you. But if you're already in a relationship, by the way, all of these things look quite nice. It could be that you recognize that certain fights in the past were not really needed to be stretched out for very long, and by learning from previous lessons, gathering more awareness, kind of understanding where you were coming from, understanding where the other person was, you kind of find negotiations and compromises that benefit both of you, and you become friends again. Okay, but regardless, if you're looking for a new partnership here and there's nothing from the past that needs to come about, there's no baggage, there's no misunderstanding, all of that, then this here can talk about making new friends and networking once more, meeting someone through your friends who you gel with very much. There is chemistry, but there is mutual understanding, and there is also privacy and space and all of that, everything that you're really wanting to attract here with the queens there. And I see that you're communicating your thoughts and desires very clearly, and this person is understanding of where you're coming from. So you're very hopeful about this whole situation. This year is like, yeah, that's not gonna happen. There's no misunderstandings here. I have grown so much. I've done so much. I'm totally in an empowered state here. I'm very clear of what I want. I have wonderful people around me, and so on. So it's a very lighthearted and playful type of vibe, and very hopeful in general. But at the same time, it's very mature as well. Okay, so your oracles. We have the sacred flow of yes, again, a water sign. You could be talking to a Pisces here, or you could be, okay. So the sacred flow of yes is, again, being in a very magnetic state where you're attracting, and the type of person and the circumstances or whatever it is that you're manifesting here is inevitable to show up in your life because you're vibing with it so much. Okay, you're kind of in the same level. You know that point of surety when you feel like it's inevitable, that thing that I'm looking for, it's mine, you know, that it really is, it belongs here, it fits here, you know. So I would like, it's not even I would like or I would wish or I need or I want even, it's just right for someone, something to be fitting in your life. That level of certainty is coming through here, and this card also talks about hopefulness and allowing intuition and harmony to kind of guide you ahead. So if there is no harmony in an existing relationship and you kind of keep having the same fights over and over again, and there seems to be no different conclusion, then you might be like, okay, let's think outside the box here, okay? And kind of let's see from a very different perspective. What do we know about this? What can we learn from before? Things of that sort, where you're going with the flow, but you're kind of also observing and being mindful along the process. So when you're talking to someone new here, it's not that you have a heavy expectation going into the conversation. You're not expecting that all the friends of your friends can be possible suitors here, but instead you're like, yeah, let's have a nice conversation and let's see how things go. Okay, and that level of kind of non-attachment is very attractive to anything that you're trying to manifest, really. Okay, and in this case, love. So hope and that lightheartedness that I was getting there is corresponding with the flow that you're feeling. So circumstances can come in. It can be a friend that just comes to you and is like, hey, you know, I met this person and would be absolutely perfect for you. I thought you guys would be like a very good match or something. You're not asking, you did not ask, but it just kind of happens. Okay. Or it can be that, you know, you meet someone and the conversation just flows. Okay. You can have some, oh yes, your bigger goals and ideals match. Okay, that's like a very big point here. You get along not just because it feels nice, but also, and not just also because of the chemistry, because that's also there, but you also match in terms of your ideals, what goals you have and aspirations you have for your individual future as well. So a lot of things kind of lining up here. Okay, then we have get back to elemental. So this is learn about the basics. Okay, get to the basics and start afresh. So whatever the scenario you're resonating with at this point, whether it is someone coming from the past, someone you're already with, or someone new that you're meeting, you're starting afresh. Okay, you're learning the basics about each other. It can be that you could be with someone for 3 years, but somehow what's your favorite color just does not pop up because okay, it just did not, right? But here it can be that this year, like, I'm really curious about the very basic things, very, very basic things. So, you know, beach or mountains or things like that, you know, it can be something inconsequential, but it is also something fun that you guys do. And for those who are resonating with someone from the past also, there's clearing up of misunderstandings. You're like, you know what, let's just shed that baggage. Let's just not talk about that anymore. We're not the same people anymore. So what's up with you? Okay, how's it going? Just get back to the basics and talk about the basic stuff. For someone you're meeting newly, you're talking about the smaller things instead of the bigger things. But as you start talking about basic stuff, it might seem like small talk in the beginning, but it actually paves the way very naturally for talk about bigger topics, your ideas and opinions and your beliefs as well, what you find attractive and so on, that comes along a little bit later. But you can feel a sense of attraction, but it's more than just physical, even though that is, of course, ragingly there. Okay, cool. We have wind chimes, peace and harmony. So that is excellent. We talked about harmony. You're paying a lot of attention to that. If it's going to feel like a very stressful event, or like you have to go real uphill in maintaining a relationship or forming a connection, you're like, I have other things going on as well. So you're kind of prioritizing that you want things to flow and kind of naturally make sense, instead of one or the other person trying to force something to happen here. And again, that puts you in a very attractive and a balanced position. Then we have Caterpillar, which says things will not always be this way, a change is coming. So this can be talking about the present moment, where you're already feeling empowered, I feel, and you're already clear of what type of relationship you want to be attracting and so on. But it can feel perhaps defeated with the Five of Swords, that maybe it's not possible, or perhaps it's too out of reach, or it's too, magical seeming that things would just line up or something. But the Caterpillar is like you're in a transition state. So the moment that you're in at the moment, and the state that you're experiencing at this time is not going to be the same. There will be a change and there is a blossoming, because after the caterpillar, you become a butterfly. That is the transformation. Everything is open. Now you're connected to a different dimension of a relationship. Okay, the hope is the conduit as well. The butterfly feels free. It was earthbound, and now it is, and it thought that the earthboundness was basically freeing, but when it starts flying, it's like, whoa, I didn't even experience this. I didn't even think about this. Okay, my eyes have opened, I see differently, my perception is totally new now, and I can't believe that I'm really excited for what's to come. It's not even I can't believe, you're just in awe and you're admiring how life is unfolding for you in the coming year. You're just enjoying getting along with people, you're forming good connections, and you're just enjoying yourself, Yes, okay. And I see that you're also happy with yourself, that you've come very, very far in life in general, but also in terms of your love life. Okay, so pile 4 is love life, please. Any other messages we have from here? Coming year. We have the 3rd house, Sagittarius, and Saturn. Okay. So miscommunications or difficult conversations you might have had that did not go well, that is being resolved. It can also be fated and karmic connections that come around. But by the way, karmic does not mean that, it has to be horrible or something. Okay, I say that a bit much, but karma is basically cause and effect, right? So if you have done a lot of work on yourself and you've really tried to invest yourself in relationships and you just did not get that back, then karmic is the retribution of that, and that being balanced out by you getting a partner that understands commitment or wants to kind of support you and kind of understand you, and you with them. Okay, so Saturn being the planet of karma is like you reap as you sow. It's quite neutral. So that's awesome. Now, with Sagittarius, it's that with the King of Swords. Again, your belief systems and your opinions, your ideologies, all of this matches. These are very big things, and I suppose, I don't know if people talk about this or not, and probably not in the first meet, but it just kind of paves the way, and you look at the big picture together. You're like, well, let's say you're going to someone's wedding, and you would want a wedding very different. Let's just say that as an example. So you can be like, well, I would prefer not to have that. And I'm like, okay, well, I can get on board with that. Even I thought that was a bit much or a bit too less or whatever it is. Your opinions are kind of on the same page about the bigger stuff, not necessarily the very small things. Of course, you can have different mannerisms, they can have different mannerisms, but that's not really a block because of these bigger things kind of matching up much better here. It can also be that you and this other person are religious or spiritual, or you want that as a very important part of your life. Can also be relating to reading, writing, a certain level of education perhaps you're expecting from someone. All of these kind of thoughts and requirements line up and match up with this person. It does not seem effortful. Saturn talks about restrictions and obligations, but I feel like you're going to someplace traditional, or you want a traditional relationship. This is something you're seeking, and that's what you're finding, basically. Sagittarius also corresponds with magnetism and attraction because the ruler is Jupiter. It also brings in a lot of good luck and protection. It's also the zodiac for hope. So we saw that with the hope as the conduit. So you're looking forward to this year, basically, and looking forward in this year as well. Okay, so that's what I have for you, Pile 4. Thank you so much for being here. I really hope the reading resonated and that it helps you out. Let me know your thoughts, and if you want a personal reading, you can reach me via Etsy. The link is in the description box in the comment below. I will see you some other time. Until then, take care. Bye.